The view on the minerals deal from here inside Ukraine, whether it's from the front line to politicians to society, is the understanding that this is a really exploitative deal, really typical of, I guess you could say, President Trump's gangster-style diplomacy. And the big question is if Ukraine is to be compelled to give up so much of its rich resource wealth, which could take a long time to be even exploited. But even if it is to give up this in theory, what will it really be getting from the US in return? Now, Washington has said that this is in itself a security guarantee, which is difficult to believe when American companies and diplomats were already in Ukraine when Russia launched its full-scale invasion. So in theory, what we understand here in Ukraine is that what Ukraine is getting in return for this deal is simply the promise of Washington not to abandon Ukraine quite yet.
And we also heard from Zelensky today pointing out that Russia had been striking, as far as the situation is on the ground, fewer energy facilities, for example, despite the 30-day moratorium that's supposed to be in place. And it has been instead attacking more civilian infrastructure. So how exactly has this moratorium been playing out on the ground, Francis?
I think it's important just to understand that this so-called ceasefire or moratorium is taking place in a post-truth world where the big players, whether it's Washington or Moscow, are pretty comfortable with operating outside given facts. Now, Russia is still seeming to try and be careful in terms of not immediately aggravating Trump with such a blatant violation of that moratorium. But as for their attacks on cities, they've continued, and they've, as you said, in fact, intensified those attacks. And it's just another reminder that while Ukraine has said they're ready for a ceasefire, an unconditional 30-day ceasefire, Ukraine is ready for peace. Russia clearly wants more and wants to keep going.